So what is licensing a photograph? Maybe you're a photographer wondering why other photographers license their photographs, or maybe you've hired a photographer wondering what is this licensing thing all about. The fact is, when a photographer clicks the shutter button on their camera, they're instantly the proud owner of a copyrighted image. And that goes for you too, whether you're using your phone, a point and shoot, or professional DSLR. This isn't something that photographers just made up. It's actually the law of the land. It's actually a concept found in the Constitution of the United States. Just like the concept of purchasing a book or buying a CD or downloading some software, you have the right to use it. However, you don't have the right to resell it, nor do you own its contents. When you hire a photographer, you are commissioning that photographer to create the images for you. And that means that you have the right to use the photographs based on the agreement you have with the photographer. The value of a photograph really does depend on how it's used, and that is why photographers use a licensing system so they can charge their clients appropriately based on the use of the images. For example, a family wishing to commission a photographer to create a portrait of their family should not have to pay the same price as a large company who wishes to create a 1,000 billboard campaign. That company who wishes to create the big campaign is hoping to make money off of those photographs, unlike the family who would just like the images for personal use. Now, each photographer goes through the same struggle of figuring out how much to charge for each type of use, because there's many different ways a photographer can figure out the best licensing strategy. Some photographers base their rate on distribution. For example, how many items are going to be printed using their photograph? Or what is the circulation of the magazine using their photograph? Or how many website visitors come to a specific website over a specific period of time? Some photographers rely on geography, such as local usage, regional usage, or national usage, and in some cases, international usage. Some photographers use time and frequency as part of their licensing fee. For example, the client can use their photographs for 1 year, or maybe 2 years, or 5 years, or maybe they can only use the photograph one time. This may all seem unnecessary and complicated, but believe me, the laws are in place to protect you. Imagine you took a photograph and you gave it to your friend for a small promotion for their local store, and the next thing you know, you see your photograph on television, and then on billboards and in magazines, and you're wondering, what happened? And then you find out that your friend sold your great photograph for a lot of money and didn't even tell you about it. Well, the copyright laws prevent little scenarios like that from happening. It is true that the copyright laws can be abused by companies large and small. The fact is, this can happen with any law or right. It's important to understand that just because somebody purchases a photograph doesn't mean they own the photograph unless the photographer transfers that right to them. However, a copyright, again, is a right, and it's extremely valuable. So if you want to purchase a copyright, chances are you'll be paying more than if you just license the photograph from the photographer. So what questions do you have about licensing photography? Put them in the comments below. This is a really important topic, and I'm looking forward to reading your questions and having a great conversation that can help other photographers and people looking for information about the practice of licensing photography.